What's good, y'all? J Boogie in full effect mode. Bun down does this sound? You know how we do. This is, of course, The Lounge Presents, and we are live streaming on Twitch, but you will most definitely find this. And this is truthfully how most people, you know, take the content in. Is on Spotify. It's usually goes live. This will probably go live Monday morning on Spotify. But as of now, we are live streaming on Twitch. So if you're with us, salute, salute, salute. I'm, of course, here in the place to be, the lounge space, with none other than these two gentlemen right here. They go by the name of Machina II.
Yeah, yeah. Applaud. Applaud. Woo. What's good?
What's up? It's a long applause.
Hey, it's deserved, y'all. Come on now. It's deserved, y'all. Okay. Yes, it's great to have you back in the lounge space, fellas. We're not gonna get into the whole how were you introduced to hip hop culture thing, because if you want to peep that, check the first interview we had with Machina 2. Scroll down if you're on Spotify. Scroll down, you'll find it on there, and we definitely get into all that there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go venture left a little bit, and we're gonna get to know these two a little bit more than we did the last time. So, fellas, how are we doing today?
Good,
I'm
good.
good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent, excellent. I understand we do have a new release, the Jazz Tape Volume 1.
Yeah, the Jazz Tape Volume 1. The producer for that was a local producer from Winnipeg. So shout out to Rectitude.
Yeah.
And he whipped up some very unique jazz beats. And he asked us to check it out. And we wrote some stuff over the course of what might have been like 4 years. Like, so we've been.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Okay.
because like it was all kind of like colored with the pandemic and affected by that. So
Right.
yeah, we would get together, we listen to the beats, write to them, come back, and like over the span of like, yeah, about 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, um,
Okay.
we uh we wrote it and like recorded it, and now it's out. So it's a 4 song EP that's on
Mhm.
like streaming, so Spotify, all the streaming platforms.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the producer?
Yeah, so we met Rectitude in actually at Northern Touch Music Festival. I think he
Okay.
was volunteering, um and I guess we were networking and feeling extroverted that day. We connected with him, and then um yeah, he just invited us to his home studio, and like I think there was just like an immediate like, oh yeah, like, I have these beats. Oh, you want to hop on some of these some of these beats, and we're like, yeah, yeah, sure, let's try it, and then it worked out. So um that was back in like, what was that, 2018?
2018? I think it was 18.
Yeah. So yeah, we just met him at like just going to that festival, and
Okay.
from there it was like, yeah, let's go. So
So would you say that what we hear on the jazz tape is Rectitude's Steez? That's his sound?
I would think so,
I,
right?
it's his sound, but like
He's like diverse.
yeah, he kind of like stretched himself really far to reach that kind of sound, because it's not like just a typical like boom
Hip
bap
hop.
beat
Yeah.
or like a trap beat or something like that. There's like intricacies that go beyond and fly over my head, as far as like chords and all the music theory that goes behind it. Because yeah, he does play like the keys and stuff, but it's
Okay.
just it was like a huge challenge for us to write to some of this music, because it's like it's a little bit different, but
Mhm.
it was a really good test of like how are we gonna uh take this into a different direction from what we've previously done.
Okay. Okay. Are there any previous releases that Rectitude had done that you could point anyone to if they wanted to get a better idea of his sound?
Mm, think he works with a lot of different artists. Because he also makes like trap beats.
Okay.
He can also make he could make boom bap beats,
Hmm.
but then yeah, he's very like musically sound. So then that's how he's able to do like a bunch of jazz type beats for us.
Does he have any
Um,
beats online anywhere that people could peep?
I'm not sure. Do you know Angelo?
SoundCloud or
I think he has SoundCloud.
Actually, yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, I'm trying to remember where we listened to him off of. Probably it was probably SoundCloud.
okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
So this project, he approached you with these beats.
Well, yeah, we were just like hanging out, and like usually he just plays some stuff. Oh, here, I've been working on this. Check this out. And then we're like, oh, this is like when you're like kind of like digging for beats to write to, it's like, okay, well, this one sounds pretty interesting, and like, so, and then we started like, brainstorming some ideas for what we were gonna do with it, and then we start writing to it, and some stuff stuck right away, and then we just like went off of that. So yeah.
Well, I got to give it up to you fellas, and I got to salute Rectitude because you guys did a great job on this motherfucker. Okay.
Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
man.
thanks.
Nah, yo, I was vibing. I was vibing to that shit hard, yo. It was like, yo, like, I
It's
mean,
different, right? Like it's
yeah,
not like your usual like hip hop style tracks. Like it's a good different though. It's a good difference.
it's
So
definitely a good different. And what I particularly enjoyed about it was the fact that it was you guys flowing over these beats because it's showing more versatility on your end, and
hmm
I mean, that is part of growth as an artist, and who the fuck wouldn't want to see that?
hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing. That's what I enjoyed the most about it was seeing your versatility as a group. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always leaned towards the fact that y'all were always versatile when it came to choosing beats because I've heard so many different types of palettes come out of your minds and your
hmm
pens. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So when you guys drop this, like, oh yo, it's just on brand now because these guys are willing to expand their palette. You know,
hmm
you guys have shown historically that you're willing to do that. So when I found out you guys were doing something called the jazz table, oh okay, what's gonna happen here? And then I started to hear the snippets. Okay, all right, hey on it, hey
yeah,
on it.
yeah,
So definitely
yeah.
salute to you too, and salute to Rectitude as well.
hmm
Was there more material that came out of this?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good question because I think there was another beat that was part of this, I guess, collection of jazz beats that he had made, and
I think
I don't I
yeah.
don't I don't think we were able to make anything for that one because it was just very I don't know. I guess it was just really unorthodox, and we didn't know how to fill in the space, and it just didn't quite. We didn't get quite there, so we just like kind of cut it off at four,
mhm.
with the four beats there. So
But he definitely has. I'm pretty sure he definitely has like a couple more jazz type beats. But we might be thinking about making another one, so that
Mm.
might come down later down the line.
The reason why I ask is because as I'm listening to the EP,
hmm
thoughts whenever you listen to music, different thoughts always enter your mind, and depending on who you are and what you do, those thoughts are going to vary. Whenever I hear music, the various thoughts that come out of my mind, well, how's this going to sound live? If they recreated this live, how would it sound? And because of the nature of the beats that Rectitude provided, I immediately heard y'all on stage with like Nio music performing this live.
yeah, that's funny you say that because
Am I lying? Am I lying
No,
though?
you ain't lying, man. You're speaking like it's exactly what we were like thinking while we were making this.
Yeah,
Really?
Real.
in fact, we did have a live bass player
Hey.
on this EP from Toronto. I think his um his name was like Kick Ass Bass Tracks or something like that. Do you remember the name, Andrew?
I think that's exactly what his handle is
Wow.
on Instagram.
How
Yeah,
did
so
he get involved?
that's one of Rectitude's connects.
Okay, so you had some live bass. Damn.
So
Yeah.
it it's pretty surprising like how a live musician will sound
Mm.
on the on the track. And with the Nio stuff, I saw them do a breaking battle,
Yeah.
like they're performing,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is really hype. And for a period of time in the dance community, we had like live musicians play along while there's like breaking battles or dance battles. And I was like, oh, I kind of missed this. And I was like, maybe these are the ones who will be like in our like, because we've always thought about having a live have like have a live band play along with
Mm-hmm.
us. It's
Mm-hmm.
just we got when we do it, we got to make sure that it's tight.
Yeah.
So that's the probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we definitely want to do that and make sure that's like one thing to check off the bucket list, right? As far as performing goes, so the live band.
Just as an aside, if we're going to mention Nio Music, we should probably mention who they are. They are a Winnipeg local band. They're coming out of the jazz school at U of M. So I mean, breaks. They can do jazz. They can everything they do is on the one. Let's put it at that. How about that? Everything they do is on the one. So if you took Nio Music and these boys and perform this EP in a live setting, that's what we're alluding to and how funky that shit would really, really sound. So Nio Music, I think you need to link up.
Yeah,
Definitely, man. Definitely.
I
we're
think
open
I
to that.
think I think y'all need to link up for real, because I think you guys could kill this EP live with Nio Music. For
That's
real.
yeah, that's what we were like thinking about. Like
Mm,
this, like all the tracks that's in this EP would definitely like hit in a live stage.
yep.
Like if we had like a bass player,
Yep.
drummer, pianist doing the keys, like it'll sound like so live. It'll definitely up our level in the hip hop game in Winnipeg as well.
Exactly. And not just in hip hop. I mean, just musically.
Hmm.
Look, if we're gonna talk just strictly
Definitely.
about Winnipeg,
Hmm.
if you and Nio Music perform jazz tape live, you know, on more than one occasion, people would take notice because you provide a more of a stage experience than previously. And I mean, let's be honest, Winnipeg loves live bands and rappers.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
this is your market, fellas.
Hmm.
Winnipeg loves live bands and rappers. So Nio Music, I'm mentioning it again. Y'all need to link up, okay? Because
Definitely.
it's a very, very, very
Hit
good
us up.
EP.
We'd be down for
Nah,
anything.
for real, for real. You guys should do it at Cultivation this year. Oh, look at me, just dropping ideas
Oh,
everywhere.
there you go.
You guys should definitely do it at
You might be
Cultivation this year.
cooking there. Not gonna
Nio
lie.
Music and y'all, okay? Maybe we need to after this, we'll just make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're like
we'll
maybe
just
you know,
we'll just
we
reach
gotta
out to
do
everyone.
this.
Look,
We
here
gotta
it's
do
gonna
this
happen this
now,
year.
man.
Nah, for real. You guys could. Oh, I can't. And and I know I'm driving this point home, but I don't think I'm off the mark here when I tell you that because of when you look like, especially when you listen to this on cans. You know what I mean? When you listen to this jazz tape on cans, that's where the feeling really starts to reverberate. Where it's like, yo, they could fucking kill this shit in a live setting, backed by a dope band. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we might just have to make
Especially
that
the
happen.
way the bass player is going off on the track.
Mm,
Like the bass player is probably like one of the best intricate parts of like all the tracks in this EP. Like every
Mhm.
single track he's on, like he's probably like the best part in that track because
There
he
you
like
go.
totally like changes the way the beat sounds. If we didn't have that bass, it wouldn't
Yeah,
sound as good.
it would
That's
kind
fair.
of
Actually.
sound like it would, it adds this another like level
It
of
gives a fuller
seasoning.
sound.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it definitely, because that live bass takes up space.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It takes up a lot of sonic space, so it's almost like a really like warm cushion. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That bottom is like that warm cushion. I know we're nerding out supreme on music here, but it is a fucking music podcast, so I think we're allowed. Speaking of music, fellas, what are we digging these days? What's guaning in yours? What's bumping in your cans and in your whips?
Damn. I've been really touching like Steve Lacy.
Okay, okay.
I really dig a lot of his music, and
Say
I've been
word.
really even listening to like some of the new stuff, like Don Tolliver.
Mm-hmm.
He's like very sonically
Mm-hmm.
pleasing to the ears when I listen to his music, especially with the headphones on. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's really dope. Yeah, I could probably name a bunch, but I just can't name them off. What
What
about you,
about
Angelo?
Joe Boy Rock over
yeah,
here?
yeah.
What are you digging right now?
It's funny, like when people in the hip hop scene they ask me, "Oh, what are you listening to right now?" And like a lot of the times, I don't listen to rap that often. Like it's I'm listening to Leve. So if you know who Leve is, that she's like a jazz singer who does like R&B type stuff too. She's from like Iceland, and
Okay.
she got really big off of TikTok like I think a couple years ago. Um, so yeah, I listened to her. I listened to like a lot of like strange kind of, maybe not strange, but like different kind of stuff than like your typical rapper would listen to, right? So um yeah, I Leve or Katie Tupper is yeah, if you know
Hey,
anything about Katie Tupper, yeah.
salute
Um
Kitty Tupper. Okay.
so she's like yeah, she's like a singer from I think Saskatoon, somewhere
Yeah,
in
I think
Saskatchewan.
Saskatoon.
Yeah,
Saskatoon.
and she was at Jazz Fest last year and got to see her, and she's like amazing. So, yeah, I listened to like a bunch of weird stuff, a lot of like older stuff too, like throwing back to like Engelbert Humperdinck and like,
Hold up,
uh,
for real. Look, and
yeah,
I'm not, no judgments, no judgment. I'm asking honestly. You said Engelbert Humperdinck,
yeah,
dog, for real?
yeah. No, I
Okay.
listened to it. Uh, and it's no, I because like a lot of times when I'm in my car and I'm listening to music, it's just like I want to sing along to some stuff, and um,
So you want to sing along to Engelbert Humperdinck?
yeah, it's
I'm clowning now. I'm clowning now. Now, man, music
yeah,
is subjective. We
Music
all
is
know that.
music, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
music is subjective, man.
Yeah.
You can't call out anyone on music ever.
Mhm.
yeah. So like it's like if people are wondering what my influences are, like as far as music goes, it's just like it comes from like a lot of places. So and I think that kind of just helps me not stay in too much of a box when it comes to approaching music.
That's fair.
Just enjoy whatever you enjoy, right? So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can relate to that now. I wasn't always I used to be quite rigid.
Mhm.
Come on, man. I mean, oh geez, let's be real. Let's be real here, okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
Gen
we don't
X,
blame you
come
on that.
on.
Yeah. 'Cause I think I honestly I was probably the same way. Like I probably just listened to like strictly hip hop like when I
Yeah,
was younger.
yeah.
Um
Just like tunnel vision.
yeah, just like I don't want to listen to anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
But now that I gotten older, like I started listening to like different
Well,
genres of
yeah,
music,
of
you know.
course. How could you just listen to one genre of
Yeah.
music in your lifetime?
Yeah, you live a long ass life, man. You gotta like expand
Damn.
your horizons, you know. So
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. Y'all listen to you guys ever hear of an MC named Drake?
oh I don't know. Last time I heard, he was getting bodied by some Compton guy. That was
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah.
there's this MC, right? He goes by the name of Drake, repping Forest Hills, Ontario. And are y'all fans? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, yeah, despite the whole beef and everything like that, because I know some people are choosing sides, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh
and I'm
yeah.
like, I still like Drake stuff for sure. I like Kendrick stuff too. It's just, if you're talking about the beef situation, that's a whole other thing. But as far as their like catalogs go, I'm like, oh yeah, I like both of them. So
What about Mr. Cortex? Do you dig some Drake?
I'm not like a diehard Drake fan. Like I I have Drake. Like everybody has Drake music in their playlist. Like it's almost
Oh
impossible
yeah.
not to. But
You're lying if you say
yeah,
you don't.
you're lying. Like especially like you can't deny like the man's catalog of work
Yeah,
and
come
like
on.
his awards. Like
Yeah,
he's a good hip hop artist. It's just that
yeah,
I just like I just like people better than him, such as
for
Kendrick. Like
sure.
I'm more of a Kendrick guy than a Drake guy. Like I'll probably listen to like more Kendrick songs than Drake songs if
Oh yeah.
people had to like tell me to decide like which one do I listen to most. So, like obviously I'll be like more of a Kendrick guy, but yeah, I listen to Drake every now and then. So
Answer me this. This is something that was discussed previously on this podcast. And because it was discussed, I feel like I'm going to be asking a lot of people this question. Just more, like a real informal straw poll type situation. There's a narrative that was going around before a massive L got dealt that there wasn't enough support in Canada for our boy Drizzy. Do you feel that that was the case?
um,
I don't think so. I think he's gotten plenty of support.
I'm yeah, I'm pretty. I don't think that's the case. Like, it shouldn't be like up to us. Like, we support like people coming out of Canada, cool, but
Always,
like
always.
we're gonna keep it real. Like, hip hop is hip hop. Like,
Yeah,
we're not gonna like automatically be biased because some guys from our own country, and then be
yeah,
like, we gotta support this guy more than this guy.
yeah.
But so we gotta tell it how it is. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
right?
Do you think Drake gets way too much hate, and hate that is, you know, really unfounded?
Uh, I think a little bit. Like, I could see it now, like the way like hate is coming towards him now in the social media space. Like, I don't think it should be going to that level necessarily, because the way that this beef like sort of rolled out, like it was people, rappers saying this, rappers saying that without any facts backing it up. So we don't even know if shit is happening, like shit is the truth. So then I don't necessarily think he should deserve like crazy hate where to the point he should be canceled, but you know, hey, that's me.
What do you think, Joe Boy Rock?
I think there's the right amount of hate. Why? Just because, like, okay, just because, like, if you take the standpoint of, like, you're out there and you're, a public figure, it's just bound to happen, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
I think it's just your job. Like, if you're Drake, you're like, oh, I gotta filter out some of this stuff because, like, dealing with that is probably, dealing with all of that is not healthy. So, yeah, I guess what it is. Like, if you decide to be a public figure, you gotta take the good with the bad. And at the end of the day, it's like still publicity. So it's just like, you know,
That is true.
people still talking about him, even
Mhm.
if it's in a negative sense, and there's a tension. So, I'm assuming both of them are going to capitalize. Like Kendrick and Drake are going to capitalize on this kind of moment right now. If you want to look at it a marketing standpoint, right? Like,
I mean,
look at it that way.
there's definitely that aspect to be considered. Now, more importantly, in my humble opinion, we are in 2024, and we have been witness to a legitimate battle between two MCs in 2024 that went what 5
Hmm.
rounds.
You're right.
It's about time, though, don't you think, fellas?
Yeah, we were starving for something like this to happen. Like the
Isn't it
top
about
guy
time?
go against the top guy, and then see what
Right?
happens. And this is
Right?
what we got. And to be honest, the battle like delivered. Like
Oh,
every
yeah.
like it
Salute
surprised the
both of
shit
them.
out of all of us. Like the way
Oh, yeah.
like how fast like they were dropping
Oh, yeah.
replies. Like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we were starving for something like this to happen in hip hop for like a
Yeah.
very long time.
More battles, please.
Yeah, that's actually what happened. It caused a ripple effect because all of a sudden
Yeah.
now we're having battles with like Bia and Cardi B. We're having battles with
Go. Let's go.
Chris
Keep it,
Brown and the guy from
right?
Migos. Like
Keep it on
you know,
wax, but let's go.
yeah. So I guess that's like a good thing that came out of this is that it sort of started to spark the competition in hip hop again. So
let's be honest. Okay, let's be honest. People were discussing lyricism. People were discussing lyricism.
mhm, for
Okay.
once, in a
Not
long
what the
time.
fuck anyone was wearing,
Yeah.
who they were dating, or blah blah ray. Okay.
Mhm.
People were discussing lyricism, y'all. What?
Finally, like
Thank you.
the people started talking about the lyrics, so that's like
Thank you.
amazing.
Genius got all the hits.
Yo, everybody was like,
Genius won this one.
Go on, Genius, gotta check it out, and then they're checking it out like,
Seriously.
what they mean? What do they mean? You know what I mean? It was like,
Seriously. Oh my god.
oh man,
Did y'all catch the pop out?
yeah. That was on Thursday, right? Yeah.
It was the same night as AEW Dynamite.
hmm
And
It
I'll
was
tell you, Dynamite lost that night.
yeah. Oh, so you totally passed on Dynamite and
No,
watched
I was
the pop out.
watching both,
Oh,
right?
you were
Because
watching both.
they had the opening. Yeah, so I had them on two screens, right?
hmm
AEW on one and then pop out on one. You knew the opening acts, you'd be able to watch the AEW, but fuck, once Kendrick came on, I closed closed the AEW screen,
It's over.
shut that down. It's just because come on. Chance to see Kendrick live, whether it was dissing anybody or not. Come on. It was a free Kendrick show.
Especially when the first track it came out of was Euphoria, and like, oh my god,
You
I gotta watch
knew.
this. Like,
You knew.
he's on that time.
You knew, okay?
And
One thing
yeah.
that came out of the pop out that was basically an offshoot narrative. If you saw Twitter and what was trending after the pop out, one thing that was trending was Dr. Dre. Because as you know, he made an appearance. He wigged everybody out. Because who the fuck knew Dre was gonna fucking appear? But there was also, he trended on Twitter for another reason as well. And that specifically was the narrative that why are we platforming Dre, who is a known, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let me ask you this. For that situation, are people are people taking the narrative in the right direction by saying why would Kendrick, ruin this Juneteenth moment by having this known abuser on stage with him? Is that where we should be taking the narrative when we're watching something like this, or is it something that maybe we should definitely keep, like we're not going to shut that out necessarily, but it's not necessarily part of what's happening in the moment. I just want to know how y'all feel about that.
That's sort of like a tricky line to cross because it's like you don't. At the end of the day, it's like it's Dre, and then even though he has all that shit going on, like the music's in the music, and I just try to like block out everything and just focus on the music at the time. Like, but once the concert's over and shit, then we could just like do other shit and start focusing on like news about Dre and stuff. But in my opinion, like I think people should just like focus on the music. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I think with that kind of stuff, it's funny because it reminds me of a time where I was doing this performance. It was a dance performance, and I was talking to the DJ, I'm like, okay, uh, can you play this song for when we just freestyle? And it was a Michael Jackson song. And she's like,
Okay.
are you sure you want to play that song with the whole thing with the
Like what?
Really?
the
Okay.
Neverland
Oh my
documentary
god.
Right.
coming out? And I'm
Okay.
like, I had to think twice. I'm like, yeah, I still want it because I still like this song.
That's so
But
Yeah.
stupid.
like when people put stuff like that the artist did in their personal life before the music, um I'm not saying that you can't like keep that in your mind, but it's just like, to me, I simplify it and like, okay, well, do I like the song? Do I still like this R. Kelly song, even though with the stuff with R. Kelly? I'm like, I still like this R. Kelly song, you know. But then, I mean, that's the full extent of like how I'm gonna approach it. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, because he did this or that, I'm not gonna listen to the music or whatever. So, and I'm not justifying anything like any wrongdoing that anybody does, but that's just where my mind goes at. It's like, okay, well, do I like it? Do I not? Okay. Am I gonna forget that they did this certain thing? I'm like, no, probably not forget it, but it's just that's just what it is. So
It's
yeah,
wild, man, because okay, you remember when OJ passed?
yeah.
Did you see how different the climate in the air was regarding his death?
How different? Like
Well, I don't know.
how do
Okay,
you mean?
I don't know if y'all saw it on your end, but from what I saw on my end and what I was seeing, he was celebrated a lot more than he was vilified when he passed away.
I think
Yeah.
I've seen that too.
Okay,
Right?
I see what you mean. Like it seemed like his if you want to call it like personal branding over the years was just like it was almost like he turned into a caricature of himself,
Mm.
maybe, and that's how people like took it, and then they're like, oh, it's just it's OJ or whatever, and they didn't go back to um the alleged things that he did. So it's yeah, it is kind of strange how like people view certain things or how things are put in a certain angle. That was that yeah, that was strange. But what was your point with that? Like with was it just that it was just different? Like you expected a
Hmm.
different kind of response from people with him passing?
Well, I think okay, well, first of all, it's generational because
Yeah,
if you weren't alive when that OJ shit happened, whatever happened back then isn't going to affect you.
yeah,
So, as you know, OJ was a lot more out there, before he passed, in the couple of years before he passed. Hell, he joined Cam and Mace on It Is What It Is.
Yeah.
He became a regular panelist. And even before that, he was very active on Twitter.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
dude was out there. He was not, you
Canceled or
know,
anything.
nah,
Like,
he was out there, man.
yeah.
And if you looked at responses to his content on Twitter, because he posted his videos talking, basically talking football.
Hmm.
He would give his thoughts on the game of the week, the games of the week, whatever. But if you look at the responses, ain't nobody like. I mean, sure, there were a couple people that had to make their the obvious remark, but there were a lot more people that were just responding to him and like, "Yo, OJ," or "Oh, Juice, yo, love your perspective, Juice, love your perspective," and
Hmm.
just having been there, we watched that shit live on TV. You remember the
yeah,
OJ chase and the Bronco?
Yeah.
We saw that shit live.
Yeah. That was like everywhere.
We saw that shit live, man. But then, when he passed, and I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be celebrated when he passed because he accomplished a lot. You can't take that away,
hmm
Hmm.
right? But just the shift in perception
Hmm.
regarding someone who was considered a monster by some.
yeah. I
You,
think I think
you get
with
what
that,
you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just how you kind of like, I guess, finish or whatever in life, and how that's the most recent thing people will remember you for, probably, right? um
And if
So
you weren't alive when the bullshit happened,
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean?
you don't remember that. You don't. It doesn't come into
Yeah,
effect when you kind of like judge this person.
yeah,
So yeah, that's I don't know. It's just like a weird kind of thing. Like because at the end of the day, you can't control how people view you and how it spins
no,
Hmm.
after you're gone. So
yeah,
it's just it is what it is. Like you you try to like nobody's perfect, right? So like if
no.
you do something, it's like okay, now I gotta like redeem myself and try to always do the right thing, and hopefully the chips fall in a way that's like beneficial to you. But that's a lot of it's out of your control.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. The only thing you can control is your own growth,
Yeah,
right? So I'm
facts.
not, I'm not saying anything about anything. All I know is someone went to trial, someone was, you know, charged, and someone was found not guilty. That's all I know. So, you know what I mean? And whatever anyone did after that, I'm not saying that anyone, got away with anything, or that anyone wasn't possible, it
Hmm.
wasn't possible for anyone to grow. But as humans, which we all are, last time I checked, are all capable of growth. We all make mistakes. Are we all supposed to be held to those mistakes, even if we've grown from them?
Mm.
Yeah,
Questions.
that's the question. Yeah, that's for other people to
Questions.
answer. You
Right?
Yeah.
guys think
Oh, that
about
was
that.
very rhetorical. That was very rhetorical. We're not here to make that call, y'all.
It's not.
We're just out here living.
We're just out here living, man,
We're just
trying to
out here
grow.
living.
So
You know what I'm saying? God damn. Fellas, it's been a pleasure having you on. And it's always great having you on because we always have great chats like this.
hell yeah. Yeah, it's always fun to like talk with the homies, especially when the homies making his own podcast. So it's always dope.
Uh, you know what? I want to ask a question, and maybe you've answered this before, but like, what was your reason for starting this whole thing? Because like, what we're on episode 140 right now,
Yeah.
and what led you to create this podcast and also to continue it this far with the 140 episodes?
Hmm.
Oh, wow. You're interviewing me on this podcast. That's
It's
funny.
your turn.
Shit. Well, The Lounge was a radio show that aired on CKW for 9 years. And it was a show where Sweet Diva, myself, DJ Finesse, Rep One, we were all a part of that. So when we shut that down, I always felt like one day that was going to come back. Because we also did interviews on that show. We had, so obviously we had, it was a mix show. It was literally a hip hop mix show. We had the interviews and we had the DJs. So I kind of always knew that was going to come back. And then when podcasts became a thing, I felt like that's when it was time. You know what I mean? So this is honestly just an extension of something we were doing back then.
Mhm.
Oh wow, awesome.
That's
That's
basically it.
dope.
Yeah. And to be honest, I would love to get all the guests that we had on that show back on this podcast, but some of them don't even do music anymore. Some of them are like impossible to reach now because they're too big.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like your importance on their VIP on their priority list went like
Hmm.
very
Went
low.
down.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
I'd love to get some of those guys now, but like whatever. No, but yeah, it's literally just a natural extension of the show that we did on CKW.
Dope.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
Dope.
like that. Now I'm gonna turn it back. I'm gonna turn the mic back in the proper direction. You're not supposed to be interviewing me on this show, you crazy. When are we gonna see you guys live next?
Cultivation.
Yay! With Naomi
Shut up,
performing
please.
the
No,
jazz
that,
tape.
that not.
We gotta work that out.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gotta work that out,
We
please.
haven't figured that one out yet. We're speaking that into existence. Like uh,
We can make that happen though, for real.
there's definitely gonna be something this summer for us live.
Better be.
I was just talking to one of our people about it. We have a few people on our team about it. So yeah, we're gonna be coming back, and it's gonna be good. So keep an eye out for that. And in the meantime, just listen to the Jazz Tape EP,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we worked on that like very diligently for the like last 4 years. And uh yeah, there's definitely at least one hit on there for sure. So um yeah, we're gonna be coming at you guys with like a lot of good stuff coming up this summer. It's gonna be a good summer.
There you go. There you go. Once again, Cortex Joe Boy Rock, you know already. This is your home anytime. You know. Literally, knock,
Hell
knock,
yeah.
open door. Here we go. All right.
I
Until we see that jazz tape live. Thank you again, fellas.
All right, peace.
yeah, no problem.
Peace.